Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show with my celebrity co-host, the star of the new podcast premiering this fall, Change the Narrative, with the host, the mind behind it, the one, the only, Marian Rivera.
Thank you very much. I like that intro.
You ain't gonna get this all the
Excellent.
time without paying. You know that, right?
Okay, well, all right.
I seen your checkbook. I know how much is in your checkbook.
0 because I have 4 kids.
4 beautiful daughters, I might add, which you're going to talk about on your podcast. You got a new podcast. Tell me about it. Tell the viewers about the new podcast and why you're coming out with a new podcast.
The podcast is called Change the Narrative with Marian Rivera. It's time to put myself out there. Let's talk about stuff. Let's empower people. We'll talk about a little bit of everything. And it's just time. I wanted to pull the trigger on something like this for a couple of years now. Came to terms with it, and I was like, let's go.
What do you mean when you said it's time?
I've been thinking about something like this for a couple of years, but you know, life takes you in different directions and stuff changes and you got to roll with the punches. But when you realize that you want to do something and you come to the realization, you go with your gut instinct. When you want to pull the trigger, you'll feel it.
You're in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, the greatest city in the world.
Got that right.
Yeah. What's been the most beautiful part of you being here so far doing your show? What's been the most beautiful part for you?
I would say the experience that I'm gaining through your knowledge and guidance. So thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you.
And I haven't got to see too much of Indiana.
You're never going to see too much when you're in season 1.
That's okay. Well, when I come back for season 2,
you
know, maybe somebody will tour me around, the city or something like that.
Okay, we'll make that happen. We'll go to my buddy's restaurant, The Good Spot, in the Indiana's finest restaurant. You know, good tater tots and mac and cheese. If you listen to the iambeast radio station, I say that all the time. Great mac and cheese and tater tots.
Okay.
We're going to go visit that.
I can do that.
Now, let's get right to today's show. We have a beautiful young lady on the show whose story is impacting the social media world like crazy. I'm blessed to have her on the show today. We've been trying to get her on, but unfortunately with the different surgeries I had, I first got to say thank you for being patient with me. A lot of times I get up and I can't even move. I don't mean to postpone, but I can barely move. Double knee replacement surgeries is not easy, but I appreciate you taking time to work with me on this. And I'm grateful that you're going to share this beautiful journey that you have. Like I said, it's taking social media by storm. Everybody's following her and they're watching her, a story of resilience. That's what I call it. It's almost like changing the narrative. But she has that beast mindset.
So she'll do fine. So eventually she's going to change if she's not already changing the narrative in her life.
You got it right. So let's welcome to the show. She's known by Coach Court. That's an interesting name, Coach Court. I mean, she's dribbling the ball or something.
She's doing something.
But her beautiful name is Courtni Clay. Welcome to the show, Courtni. How you doing?
Thank you so much. I am doing well and so happy to be here. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Great.
We had some mofongo.
Stop it. Stop.
I love mofongo.
All right. How do you know about mofongo? Real quick.
I'm from Jersey originally, and I have a lot of Puerto Rican friends. Yeah.
So I was born in Hoboken, so thank you. We're repping now.
Okay,
I like it.
Teaneck. I'm from Teaneck. Yep. So I know all about the mofongo, pernil, all that.
Yeah. See, she's got it.
Okay.
She's got it. She's legit now. She's got it.
Okay, she's legit. So let's get right down.
Gente?
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa?
See. So, Courtni, tell me a little bit about yourself before we get into the question and answer about your life's journey. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, you want the work history or my personal life? Like I'm a master resilience coach. The personal, okay. Oldest of 4 girls, mother of 2 boys. My mother I was raised with a single parent. We grew up in Jersey to Virginia to Germany. We bounced around a lot until my parents got divorced by the age of 12. And she just always struggled in life. Like I was literally I was the oldest of four. And so I always had to be the one to take care of my sisters. My mom was always at work. You know, the normal, I guess not the normal, but the ongoing narrative, right? Of the single mom struggling to make it day by day kind of thing. I kind of grew up in that. Um, got kicked out the house my senior year. But
Wow.
I got kicked out. Lived with one of my very close friends. Like God bless her mom. Her mom literally saved my. If her mom didn't take me in, I don't know where I'd be to this day. Like I don't know where I'd be if she didn't take me in my senior year. And then I left for the army when I graduated. So I literally left September 12th, 2001. So y'all know, like the day before that, that was September 11th. I was packing my bags as I was watching the news and watching the towers go down. And I was like, what the heck did I sign up for? So,
Wow.
yeah, but for me, I think it was always, no matter what happens, like I don't care about anything except I gotta make it. So whether I got kicked out the house, my friend lived on the other side of the city that we lived in, which was Hampton, Virginia. And she
Mm.
lived on the other side of the city. So I would literally hop on the city bus to get to class every day and get on time because I was like that. Like for me, I always thought failure is never an option. Like
Mm.
I may be in this situation, but I can't fail. So I'm like, all right, how am I going to go to school? I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't have money. I had a job, of course. And so the Army National Guard got dangled in my face, like, okay, you can go to college for free. We'll give you money. So I'm just like, I'll do it because I'm going somewhere. That they're going it
Mm.
somewhere. So I joined the Army. I got out. I enrolled in college, and probably within a few months, I got the call, and it was pack up. You got to leave next week. We're going to war, and that's when I went to Iraq. Was there for a year and a half. I'm like thinking about it. It makes me like, man, I've been like life has been life, but I got through that year and a half. I was at the prison camp. I was an MP. So I worked at the prison camp, Abu Ghraib. There's a lot of scandal with that back in '03 because I went from '03 to I went from '03 to '04
Mm.
and made it through. It's crazy. I look back and I'm like, that experience was absolutely amazing. Like it wasn't amazing, but I look back and I'm like, I wouldn't take it back because it's a big part of who I am and just learning how to get through life and learning how to deal with other people and just all the challenges you face right then and there. And you're stuck with these same people, whether you like them a lot or get along or not, you are stuck with them and you got to find a way to make it work. And so for
Well,
me, I was just glad that I came out. Huh?
let, let me, I didn't mean to cut you
You
off.
say
Let me
what?
ask you back a little bit. You brought us some
Yeah.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Mother and father got divorced and stuff.
hmm
How old were you when they got a divorce?
12.
How did you relate to that? Because you're 12 years old and you need your dad. You got other
So here's the
siblings.
thing.
Were you and your dad close? Were you and your dad close?
So here's another wrench in this whole thing. This is probably my first time speaking about this publicly, so I may get a little
Take your time, babe.
so I know I'm like, ah. So I found out that he wasn't my biological father at 10 and that I had another dad. And so it was weird and it was tough because I was struggling with me and my dad were close, I guess kind of close, but he had a we all had a very interesting relationship. Like he was there, but he like wasn't there, but he was there. And so then when I found out about my real dad, that was it was kind of in the midst of the divorce. So because the divorce was happening, my mom told me. So it's kind of like, okay, well, you don't have this, but you have this. But I'm just 10 and I'm just like falling apart. You know what I mean? I'm like, what do you mean? Like I had this man's last name all my 10 years of my life. So when the divorce happened, I don't know how I felt. I feel like my childhood was very numb. Like it was just take care of your sisters, make good grades, and hang out with your friends. Like that. Like I was very tunnel visioned. And I think I've always been like that. I've always been. I can always block out the noise and just be like, what is the focus? What do I have to? I think I've always been like that, and it's weird. So I don't know. I don't know how I felt, to be honest. And I still I don't I feel like I can say now in that I think I lacked a lot of what a good man is, or what a good man looks like, or what a good I think I never saw that. And I think as I became an adult and just looking at my dating and how I've chosen people, and I'm like, man, I wonder what it would have been like if I saw what a good man looked like. Like I never had a man take care of me. You know what I mean? Like I never saw that even as a kid. Like I'm like, my parents got divorced. Like my like neither like I never learned, I was never taught anything, like how a man should take care of a woman, or how a man should be treated, just or any of those things. So I feel like I missed out on a lot. But for me, my focus was I gotta make it.
Mhm.
And that was it. Like I became very focused on I'm gonna be somebody, and I'm gonna have fun. Like that was my mindset.
Why do you think your mom decided to share that situation with you about your dad? Because I had a similar situation about the same age that you were when my stepfather, which I knew he was my stepfather,
Yeah.
told me I had another father. I remember him picking me up from elementary school, and I'm like, that's something he's never done. So it kind
Yeah.
of shocked me. And he sat me down, and I remember literally crying. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know what it meant. I wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't mature in the mind to understand why you was even telling me this, but it came
Yeah.
from my mother to my stepfather to come and tell me. And I still didn't
Hmm.
see my father till like years later. So I'm getting to the point here.
Hmm.
When I did see my father, I was delivering the newspaper, and I remember him having a Cadillac with the diamond in the back, sunroof top, gangster lean, but
Yeah.
he never approached me. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna get to to,
Hmm.
to you.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't know how to process that. And even when I got older, I still didn't process that because he didn't reach out to me to after the death of my mom, and he didn't really reach out. There was still never that connection. We didn't get closer until much, much later in life. So let's go back here
Yeah.
for a second. What you was talking about.
Yeah.
This was the man that you took his last name.
Hmm.
Definitely a role model at that age. Why did you think your mom decided to all of a sudden unveil the thing and say, this is your father? So the second part of that question is, how did you start a relationship with your father prior to leaving the house, getting kicked out of the house?
So for both of them, I had a relationship with both of them. I think my mom told me, and this is what she also says, I think she knew that our dad, the one that I was raised with, me and my sisters, she knew that he wasn't going to be involved in the way that's probably, you know, the way a father should be. Like my dad is very, like he's around but not around, right? Like I don't, I don't know how to explain it, but he's not very involved, but he'll like check in, I guess, if that makes sense. So I think she knew that the relationship was going to be very like it wasn't going to be very deep. It wasn't going to be a lot. He may not be around. So she wanted to make sure that I guess I knew the truth. That I knew the truth of who my actual father was. Because I mean, I didn't know, like none of us knew. So this was like literally a bomb dropped on me. And the best part about it was that, well, not the best part, but the funniest part about it was that I knew who he was because she was taking me there, like like here and there when I was like 7. And so she was like, Courtney, do you remember this guy that so so? I'm just like, yeah. Like I'm listening. It's like, well, he's your father. And I was just like, and like, I think my whole world just like crumbled. I just started crying. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so I think that was just her way of trying to fix it or fix something.
What was his reaction, Courtney? The guy that you've been seeing, the biological dad, the one that you're seeing intermediately, you know, here and there and so forth. How did he get to know who you were as his biological daughter?
Well, I think it kind of started because, of course, he already knew. So him and my mom, like they knew, but I didn't know. So those little moments, like he had planned a birthday party for me. I didn't, I'm just, oh, nice guy, thanks. I'm like 7. Or I would go to the house and he would give me like certain things. Oh, such a nice guy. I got some chips. I got this, I'm 7, right? Or whatever. So he's very cool. Like as far as he's not gonna make a wave, he's not gonna make a scene. He's that kind of person, very stoic. But he wasn't there when she told me. So I don't know. I don't remember how the conversation went. Like right after he found out that I was told, I don't know because it was just it was just her and I at the time.
You wind up leaving, getting put out.
Yeah.
Was that because of the maturity level that you had as a young girl? Was it because of something else? What do you know?
I got in trouble and she kicked me out.
What is
So no,
trouble?
it wasn't maturity. Huh?
What's trouble?
So so I came home drunk.
Wow. And how old?
17? Yeah. Yeah, I had because it was my senior year, so I had to be 17. 17.
She
Yeah,
put you
I
out at
know.
17?
Yeah, it was my senior year of high school. She put him out. Yeah, my senior year. I came home
Wow.
and I was out the next day. I was calling all my friends and I was like, someone like, can someone take me in? Like, can someone take me in, please? And thankfully, my friend's mom. It's funny because she actually called my mom and she was like, yeah, I'll take her for a few days. And mom was like, no, she's not coming back. And my friend's mom was like, what? And my friend's mom was like, just come on, come on, Courtney. And I stayed
Why
there
do you
until I left.
why do you think that one particular incident led your mom to taking such harsh reaction to a mistake?
I think she was just tired and fed up and frustrated. Like she had to raise all 4 of us. I mean, I'm not even giving her an excuse, but I just think she was fed up. Like, I don't know. I mean, and it's crazy. It's funny because when I tell this story, people are like, "She did what?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I guess I can say it with such like, "Yeah." And they're like, "How are y'all now?" And I'm like, "We're fine now." But I just don't think she could. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of trauma with her. There's a lot of unpacked trauma, and I think she just dealt with a lot growing up. And I think it was a buildup of life in general. And I don't know. I don't know.
How did you manage? Okay, so now you're with a new household.
Mhm.
So you have safety. That's the most important thing here. You
Right.
have safety.
Yeah.
And the ideal at 17 years old, at least you had the insight to have that beast mentality and say, you know what, I'm going to keep being resilient. I'm going to keep moving forward
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Were there moments, and I know the answer to this, but I got to ask anyway.
Okay.
Being a female, what were you scared about at this particular point in time? You're 17.
Mhm.
You're out on your own. You graduated. This is what I tell people. I've been down that road with you.
Mhm.
It's a scary situation now. You don't get 3 meals in the cot anymore. Parents go quick to now. You own your own, so to speak. It's different when you're a guy.
Yeah.
It's totally different when you're a female.
So do you mean when I got kicked out and was living with
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. How did all that change for you now? Because the bottom line is you got a whole new family structure and you got to adapt to their ways of living to a degree, but you still want to be your own strong female.
You know what's crazy, and this is gonna sound weird. It was no transition at all. Like her mom was cool, she was loving. We had 3 meals a day. She cooked all the time. Like it really was a good time. Like and that sounds good, but it really was a good time. I mean, I had my best friend with me every day. We would wake up, hang out. She would go to school. I would go to school. You know, it wasn't that during that specific time, I wasn't worried about safety or shelter or probably anything like that. Because
Mhm.
I was able to get to school. I had my friends with me. Like at that age, at that time, that was really my main concern. I gotta go to school because I'm going to graduate, number one. And then number two, I got my friends here. So we're having a good time. And I just didn't dwell. I couldn't, my mind is I can't dwell on stuff that I can't control. I'm kicked out. I'm out. Okay, fine. I have a place to stay. Her mom is fine with me and staying here until I leave for the army. Like that's where my
Why,
mind was.
why didn't you go stay with your father? You know him.
You know, that's a great question. And they both knew. I don't know why. I don't know why no one said no. But you know what? It was probably because I was in my senior year. I, I don't know for sure, but you asked me that question. I'm like, why didn't no one come get me? Like it's a great question. Like, how come no one came to get me? But
Yeah.
that's a, and I've never asked that question, to be honest. I've never asked that question. But the only reasonable thing I can think of was that they didn't want to take me out of probably the high school that I was in because I had like 6 months left, maybe. That's the only thing I could think of because I don't know. I never asked.
What about your siblings? I mean, you shared that you were the oldest.
Yeah.
It your responsibility, so to speak. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not your responsibility. That kills me when people have children
Hmm.
and then they make older children take the accountability for their actions and say, it's your no, it's not your responsibility. Those are you're the mother, you're the father.
Yeah.
These are my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
It's not my job to babysit, change diapers
Yeah.
and all that.
It was mine. I tell you that. It was mine.
How did your siblings and you communicate after that? Because you're still trying to come into your own, and you had to miss your brothers and sisters at the same time. Were they feeling the same way that you was going through things as well?
This is gonna sound really bad. I don't remember talking to them. Like I don't recall. I mean, I think also back then, like we had pagers. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't like I could just pick up a cell phone or send them a text. Like that wasn't I feel like it would maybe be different if we were in the times now, like there might be a text because everyone has a cell phone. But there was no
Mhm.
cell phones back then. There was house phones and I wasn't calling the house. Like for what? So
Mm.
I yeah, I don't think I felt anything because I think at that time also I was the oldest, so they got on my nerves anyway. So I wasn't like missing being the older sister. Like
At least
I'm
you
being real. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a full buck. Like I wasn't pressed to not have to babysit them anymore. Like I wasn't pressed, and it probably sounds so bad, but it's my truth. It's true.
so you wind up getting ready to go to the
Mhm.
military, and unfortunately, we got struck with 9/11. And I remember when that happened. I was a school teacher in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
And I was actually, somebody called me on the phone. I never will forget that day. I don't think none of us, I think everybody knows where they was at that time.
yeah,
I was on my way to school. And then somebody, I think a teacher gave me a call and was like, Andre, what are you doing? And I said, I'm getting ready to go to teach class. I said, I'm watching some war picture. That's what I said. I said, I'm watching some war picture. I said,
yeah,
some plane just went into a building.
yeah,
And they go, Dre, we're under attack. And I thought I dropped the phone because I didn't believe what I was seeing.
yeah,
And to see it in real time, my heart just dropped
yeah,
because I couldn't imagine somebody taking control of a plane and telling me we're going to go into that thing and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And watching people jumping from windows and so forth.
Yeah.
But now to go back to you, the military was a way out for you, but now you've been called to duty in during the worst part of American history.
Yeah.
And you're young.
Yeah.
Take me down that road.
I think my first thought was WTF. Like what did I just, because I'm literally I'm packing. So I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm at my friend's house and I'm packing my clothes and I was just like, well, let me text my recruiter and see if I'm still leaving tomorrow. Like that was my first after WTF, it was okay. Let me text my recruiter and see if we're still leaving because let's go. Like in my mind, I was just like, I signed up. Like, like there was no. It almost sounds and feels robotic, but I'm like, I signed up for it. I'm here, and I mean, of course, I am thinking, damn, oh my gosh, I'm about to go to war. But then the other half of me is like, I'm here.
My hat's off to you too, and I appreciate your service.
Thank you. I wish I had more to say, but I'm like, I really didn't. I'm very like, it is what it is. Like, are we gonna go or not? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and spiral. Like, already, I'm leaving tomorrow. So,
what was it? You're still dealing with your own issues, trying to become a woman. We got this going on with 9/11 and so forth. How do you keep everything together? Because you got to go to boot camp.
Yeah.
And everything is chaotic. America is at its worst at this particular point in time.
Yeah.
Safety is an issue. You have, cultural division between everybody. People are scared to come out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. How do you keep things together once you get to where you got to get to get inducted, to go to boot camp, and naturally things had to change because we just got attacked. So boot camp may not be the same for you as it would have been had we not been under attack.
I think the difference that I could only think of was it was an ongoing, I don't want to say joke, but they damn sure they said it as much as they can. It was like, yeah, you thought you was going to college. You're going to war. Like they would do that stuff to us. Like they did that. Like we would hear that every day. Like it was an ongoing thing with it. They say, yeah, you thought you were going to college. You thought you were going to Korea. You thought, it was like, nah, when you're done here, you're going to war. And it was just like, y'all are cold. Like, damn. Like, okay. But for me, I keep my eye on the goal. Like this is like, all right, I may or may not. So actually, you know what's crazy? I actually thought I might be all right. I'm in the National Guard. So they're gonna call active duty, you know what I mean? So I was like, they're just talking crap. Yeah, I was probably had about 6 months home and I was in college. I was in class and I got the call. So I didn't think too much about it because I was like, yeah, they're BSing around. They're just trying to get in our heads. They're trying to make us sweat. I should be fine. I'm in the National Guard. I'll be okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. That was, they were absolutely correct. But to answer your question, I think a lot of people get caught up in everything that's around them. And I always maintain my eye on the goal. Like, I didn't like the people. I had people that had Confederate flags in their locker. They didn't last long, but they were in their locker. I remember my first day coming into boot camp, and I had my hair cornrowed straight back, just straight back cornrows, put in a little tiny bun because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna take care of my hair. And they saw me, and they said, "Private, you cannot have the hairstyle. Take out every single cornrow." And mind you, mine were small. They were like tiny ones because I wanted it to last a long time. I sit there and take out every single cornrow in my head. I ended up cutting off all my hair at the end by the end of basic training. got smoked for getting caught wearing a scarf at night. Like, it's a lot of things that I'm sure they've changed now, but looking back, I'm like, wow, like things are harsh. I mean, we could wear a ponytail now, but back then, like, you couldn't even wear braids, like straight back, neat braids.
Did you have any regrets?
No.
So you just said, I'm gonna keep dealing with it, keep moving forward.
I mean, I was already here, so it's like, what option do it? Like, it's, to me, I'm very clear, like, on, okay, if I leave, then what? Like, if I leave, like, this, like, doesn't, like, I can't let my emotions drive this goal, like, I can't let my emotions dictate the rest of my life. Like that sounds like, to me, that sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. So no, I was like, I mean, it sucked. I was mad, but okay, I'm gonna brush my hair back and call it a day.
When you mentioned something, I think this is really, really, really funny.
Okay.
You wind up overcoming a speech impediment and stuttering.
Yes.
And that's kind of crazy because you do public speaking too. So what made you decide to really work on that and get involved in public speaking, and how much of that was a handicap for you as you was evolving?
That's a great question. Okay, so my stuttering journey. My mother put me in speech therapy in the 3rd grade. So I thank God for that. Like, I look back and that's one thing that I'm like, man, if she didn't do something, thank God she put me in speech therapy. So she put me in speech therapy, and then she put me in drama as well. Her and the teachers was like, this is a great way for Courtney to just speak more, talk more, develop her own techniques, things like that. And then that is what helped me kind of speak to how I speak today. But I don't think people understand that even though you may go through speech therapy and do all these things, it never truly goes away per se. Like, I still have setbacks and I still stutter here and there. I don't think people hear it as much. I hear it all the time. Like, I hear it. I know when it's coming. I know what to do when it's coming. Like, I feel it, but people don't see it. And so I've never liked, I never enjoyed talking. I was always scared to have to speak publicly because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I stutter? Someone's gonna say something. You know how in high school you mess up one time and they're like, oh, okay, Courtney. And it's like, that just ruins my, like, literally my whole day is done. My whole day is done. I want you to die and I don't want to talk to you ever again in life. Like, that's probably the one thing that will probably hurt me the most, because I remember watching clips of myself when I was a kid at 5 and just trying to speak and I could barely get out a sentence. And it's just like watching it. So if anyone wants to like joke on it or say something, like, that would probably like just break my heart. You know what I mean? And so I would say last year, probably, yeah, last year, going through the whole coaching thing, I was like, I gotta get out of my comfort zone. Like, I would be on social media and I wouldn't post videos of myself. I didn't talk. It was like I had like a faceless Instagram page at first. It was just pictures and quotes, right? Pictures and quotes. And then someone was like, well, I mean, if you want people to trust you, then you have to show yourself. And I was like, but I don't want to talk. I don't want to, like, I get nervous. I forget, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, you know what? And then I would see people, I would see like folks on stage. And I was like, wow, like, they just sound amazing. They look amazing. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I can see myself like speaking on stage in like an all white suit. Like, I can do that. I can do that one day. I can do that one day. And I was like, all right, I gotta just start speaking it. I gotta just be open to opportunities. I actually met this girl at this party and we met, and she was like, I don't know who you are, but I just have to get to know you. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm thinking like, okay, cool, this is great. Turns out she was having a symposium and she was like, would you be a speaker? And I was like, yeah, because, and I forgot to mention, so I do MRT. I'm a master resilience trainer in the Army. So
I was going to say that next.
yeah. I was gonna say, so I think that started to help me, because when I was in that training class, for the first time. I was in basic officer leadership course, becoming an officer. And I sat in that course and it touched my soul. Like the trainings, it touched my heart so much. And I was like, wow, like this way of thought, like I was like, I want to teach this one day. I was like, I gotta teach this one day. And so of course that opportunity came. I got that. But fast forward, now she's asking me, and one of the topics was being assertive. And assertive is one of the skills that I teach. So I was like, oh, assertive, like I got this. Like I want to do it. And so yeah, we actually the symposium was in April and I spoke. I wore a white suit and I was like, I'm living out my vision. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm living out my vision. And now from there, I have another speaking event coming up in October. I got one next year. I do reels where I talk like a lot. So it's just been like a journey with just really getting uncomfortable and knowing that I'm talking to someone out there that needs to hear this.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. I listen to your reels and they're very motivational.
Thank you.
And I remember putting it out there in the universe. I'm like, hey, I got to have this lady on the show because it takes a lot to get my attention. Trust me.
Okay.
And when you get my attention, then you got it. And I was like, okay, but I knew there was a story behind it.
Yeah.
You just, how the lady came to you, you just feel something. I was like, it's something about her story.
Yeah.
This just didn't happen overnight is what I was saying to myself. There's got to be something deeper here. So I started going back, looking at more of your stuff. I said, I got the story. There's something that led to her getting to where she's at right now.
So it's so much. And as you ask these questions, I'm like, I never think back to this deep. And I'm like, okay. All right. he's digging deep today.
So let me ask you a question. You're an HR leader.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, to be an HR leader, you have to deal with a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
But you also deal with a lot of what I call camouflage. Individuals that say what they think you want to hear to get an opportunity. How do you begin, based on your experience, how do you learn to weed out the pretenders versus the real leaders that you come in contact with?
That's a good question. And thankfully in my role, I'm more so advising. So there's nothing that they can really come to try to persuade me per se, because I'm advising them on what they need to do. And I'm telling them this is how you do X, Y, and Z. So there's nothing else for us to talk about. Like there's no persuading me when I'm saying no, based on this policy and this law, you can't do this. Here's what we can do. Here's what I can help you with, but you can't do this thing that you're trying to do. So I'm very direct, but I'm also a teacher. So I think they respect that.
When you say master resilient trainer, that's a powerful name. Wow. Master resilient trainer.
Yes.
I want that. Hey, it sounds good. Who do you learn your skill set from to become a master resilient trainer?
Well, I got to thank the Army for that. The Army. So how that happened. So a couple years after I was in the MRT course, the Master Resilience Training course, it's an Army program. And it's a mandatory, as a matter of fact, it's mandatory training because it wants soldiers to be more resilient. And so I was actually supposed to go to captain's career course one year and they messed up all my stuff. So I couldn't go. And I was pissed. I was like, I'm trying to get to this course. I needed to, do X, Y, and Z. And then there was a call there was like, hey, the brigade needs a master resilience trainer. Is there anyone that wants to go? And I was like, oh snap. I'm like, wait a minute. This is what I wanted 7 years ago or so. You know what I'm saying? Like this, or I think 7 years ago, 6'5", I'm not sure. But this is what I envisioned. I wanted to be this person. I wanted to train on this stuff. So I raised my right hand and they sent me to school. And we had to go to a course in South Carolina. I went to the one in Fort Jackson, and they teach you basically 14 skills on how to be resilient. So they teach you the skills, how to train it, how to lead it, and then you take it back to your units and train them.
How do you think that course helped you to elevate you to where you are now? And what do you think you would have been had not that opportunity happened?
I probably wouldn't be Coach Court, the Master Resilience Coach. I'll say that. I think it gave me additional skills and insights on things that I never understood, like the subconscious mind, like how people look at an event, but the way you think about it can go either way. You know what I'm saying? So those things like that help me to see, like, wow, like there's more than one way to think. Things go back to, we have a lot of programming that we have to deprogram and learn new skills. And I think that's what kind of helped me just really just set the stage for a different mindset. I think I've always been resilient. I always have, and I've always had the skills, but I think for me personally, it was my own mindset, I think, that was getting in the way of a lot of things. And I don't think it wasn't until my divorce where the like resilience piece, but then the mindset piece really came together. And I was like, okay, I've been doing it, but I've been doing it wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you find out, before we wrap
Mhm.
up, first of all, congratulations
Thank you.
for completing the course. Congratulations for overcoming the trauma, the whole 9 yards, and more importantly, congratulations and my hats off to you for being such a young woman and going into the military during our biggest moment of crisis.
Yeah.
But your course is what you learned is to me is key information.
Mhm.
And that's what we do here. We like to provide people with information, even if it comes from a story as beautiful as yours.
Mhm.
Well, what you teach, what has been the biggest 3 setbacks for individuals outside of the mindset?
Mhm.
We hear a lot of people that can't keep that beast mindset or that changing the narrative
Mhm.
mindset because they're too busy not being able to let go of the past or letting their past define them. How do you get them to change that set and to think, like you just said, that there's more than one way to skin a cat?
It's a good question. So we definitely talk about the subconscious mind. And I go very like I'm always talking about, what are you thinking and why? I ask a lot of questions. And then it tells me, like, okay, I have these thoughts. And then I'm like, but why do you have these thoughts? And then we go back to kind of the why, the why the why underneath the why. And then we kind of look at it like, okay, if you're thinking this, if you have this thought's going to trigger this emotion. This emotion is going to trigger this behavior, and that behavior will trigger this result. So what if we change this thought? What if we just start at the very beginning? If you have this thought, let's change it. Now, if you change the thought to something more positive, per se, right? That changes your emotion, that changes the
Mhm.
behavior, and that changes the end result. So I take my clients through a lot of exercises, a lot of homework, where they do a lot of reflection and a lot of reframing, because a lot of it does go back to the things that they tell themselves, the things that they've seen, and we have to really reframe all that.
Do you think that people live in a fear-based mindset from childhood trauma and not being able to see a future because they have programmed themselves so deep through culture? Because I hear a lot of people that are minorities that always remember back in the day, well, it's because I'm black,
Yeah,
because I'm Puerto Rican, because I'm Latino
yeah.
or whatever. How do we get people to change these narratives when these narratives are always being projected on you through social media? And a lot of people, this is the one word that I remember growing up when I first got into high school and I wanted to to go to Pensacola, Florida for a strike meet. And the coach said, we're only taking the best 15. It was my first year in high school in Georgia. High school starts 10, 11, 12. Mm-hmm. You spend 3 years. And I remember telling him, I said, I can't. My homework assignment was simple. He said, go home and tell me what that means when you come back. And when I came back, I said, I can't find it. He said, they quit using it.
Exactly.
That was the light bulb moment for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And from that moment, I projected myself that I can do anything I want to do. Now, am I going to have setbacks like you said? Yeah, but I'm still learning because we all still going to learn. I have to learn to say, like you said, let me sit back, let me rewire.
Yeah.
Let me think what the results are going to be. What am I going to get from them results? And I think people have to realize, and you can validate this, I guess. Yeah. This is a continuous process. You don't get it overnight. Absolutely. And you're going to still make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Along the path.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too. So it's always that spark. And I feel like a lot of sparks come from the questions. Because when people sit back and really reflect on things, and I see that a lot with my clients, where they're like, I'll give you an example. I had a client and I asked her a question. I forgot what the question was, but I gave her the homework. I was like, I want you to go. I want you to answer this. I want you to come back when we talk, and I want you to tell me whatever your thoughts were. And she was like, that question took me down a journey so far that I finally know what my purpose is. And she had wanted to, one of her goals was to like take the praxis and become a math middle school teacher because it pays more. So I was like, okay, if that's what you want, let's work toward that goal. But throughout the questioning and throughout really digging deep into kind of who you are and what you want to be and all that, she was like, you know what? I want to be a history teacher. I've loved history since I was a kid. I was at the top of my class. I was X, Y, and Z. And she was like, and so I was like, well, why? Why did you not, like, what made you decide this now? And she was like, fear of being great. And I was like, this is when things like this are powerful, because if you don't have the right people asking the right questions, getting you to think beyond your current reality, right? Or thinking or having a vision bigger than yourself, you will never get there. And so I think that's what a lot of folks need. Yes, therapy too, not just kind of therapy, because therapy unpacks all that past trauma. We're not unpacking past trauma. I'm seeing you for where you are right now and getting you to where you want to go.
There's a reason you came on to today's show. I don't took all the questions. You got any questions you want to ask?
We'd be here another hour.
Oh, okay.
We'd be here another hour.
We can't do that because we got a big lineup today. But you got another question? You got a question you want to ask? I don't want to take up all of it.
No, I just want to commend you as a woman. I mean, how kick-ass are you?
Thank you.
With everything that you've done and everything where you came from and everything that you've overcome and joining the military. And then 9/11 happens and you're like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I signed up on the dotted line. Here we go. It doesn't matter what's going to happen.
Yeah.
My hat's off to you.
Thank you.
My hat's off to you. And thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, I'm trying to articulate what I want to say, because this is powerful.
Okay.
And to come from a woman, it means a lot, because we are now living in what I call the awakening moment of life. And a lot of people don't get that. I call it woke.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what woke means. I was telling people before Cat Williams said woke, I was already doing it.
Yeah.
I just don't have the Cat Williams money. So we was already woke. But it's a beautiful enlightenment that we're dealing with now, where people are coming into their own. And I like what you just said. Asking the right questions and waiting for the results. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that I hear from people when I ask them, what's your purpose? They can't answer that. They can't answer that. They have to really think, because nobody asked them.
Mm-hmm.
They've been told what their purpose is. Mm-hmm. Go to school, get a job, get happily married, stick with it, and keep going.
It's a scam.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
So if you make them sit back and really think, I said, sit back and think about it a minute. And then you ask them same questions like you just said. Why haven't you done it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question before we wrap up. I'm getting emotional because this is really hard to me because people ask me all the time, how do you do what you do? I said, because I manifest it. I believe in it. If I don't know how to do it, I find somebody that knows how to do it. I'm going to learn it. And more importantly, I'm going to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, what's my word? To be great, you got to be what?
Consistent.
Consistent.
Absolutely.
That means if I fall down, I'm going to get up. Do I have bad days? Hell yeah. Is there days I want to walk away? Yeah. But I see the end game.
Yeah.
And the end game to me doesn't stop there. It means I continuously see end games. How do you constantly build the railroad track to put the trains on? They don't just have one engine. That's why you see a whole bunch of going by. I want all of those to be mine at the end of the day. So let me ask the question to you. Why is it that we live in a society where we can touch a damn phone button and talk to somebody in Germany, Florida, all over the world with the drop of a hat? We can share information with the drop of a hat. We can become overnight sensations with the what? Drop of a hat. But people are still afraid to invest in themselves. But you go out and you work for Ford, Chrysler, the big 12 companies, you'll make tons of money, government jobs, making tons of money. But when they pull the strings, you know where I'm going with this. When they pull the strings, at the end of the day, I asked them, why didn't you invest in yourself? What do you know how to do? Well, I know how to bake cookies. Why don't you bake cookies? Like you said, the lady said, I want to be a school teacher. Why didn't you be a school teacher?
Right.
Why is it so hard for people in this day and age to see the big picture, to know their purpose in this world?
Fear of failure. I think it's fear of failure, fear of people talking about them, because social media is huge, and if one thing goes wrong, that you will be blasted. So I really think it's those two main things is fear.
You know what? Thank you so much, Courtney. That's why they call you Coach Court. I get it now. I'm going to change that. It's Master Coach. Master. You know, Courtney, thank you so much for taking time to come on the show. Before we wrap up, how can the viewers reach out to you, know more about your program? I encourage everybody to like, follow, and subscribe, not only with Courtney, but also the new podcast is coming out.
Change the narrative.
Change the narrative. Make sure you subscribe, like. But Courtney, how can the viewers reach out to you?
All right. So you can reach me if you're on Instagram. It's Coach Court 83, I believe. And then TikTok is Coach Courtney. Courtni, not EY.
You heard it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another, and I do mean another, exciting episode of the
Andre The Beast Crayton Show.